Hey, Jonathan here, and inside today's video, you're gonna be learning 5 unique bodyweight exercises to strengthen and tone your upper body. Now, what makes these exercises so unique is that they're taken from parkour. So what this means is that you're gonna be developing and gaining true strength, so functional strength that you can use. Now, many of you who are already subscribed to our channel are familiar with parkour and how some of the exercises can be some of the best bodyweight exercises for building strength and getting a lean toned body. Now, if you're new to the channel or you're just watching one of our videos for the first time, you might be thinking, parkour, that's way too extreme for me. Well, in just a second, you're gonna see how, even if you don't want to train parkour, you can still use these beginner exercises taken from parkour to unlock the body of an athlete and also have a more fun and challenging way to get your workout in. Also, make sure to watch this video all the way to the end, because if you are interested in learning some of the fun beginner moves of parkour, we're gonna share with you one of our best resources at the end. This is our 5-day starter course into parkour, and you get it absolutely free. So let's jump into the exercises. I'm gonna hand it off to Thomas now.
All right, this first exercise is the cat hang, and this one's a great exercise for developing your grip strength, your forearm strength, your core strength, and your back strength, all in one exercise here. Now, this one's gonna be using a wall, just like a lot of training in parkour. We're gonna be using an urban obstacle here. So a simple wall, nice and short, about chin height, head height. It's a good one to start off for this move. So the beginner progression, the first progression, is just going into your cat hang. So you're gonna hold onto the wall, grip onto the wall here. Again, just to point out, it's gonna be easier on your grip strength if you have a small ledge, so you can wrap those fingers around the edge, or if you have a rail to hold onto, just for if you wanna make it easier on the grip strength. Okay, so we're putting the hands on, arm shoulder width apart, have those arms straight, and then we're gonna plant our feet into the wall here. And you can stagger them, or you can have them side by side. And the goal here is to just hold in this position for about 10 to 30 seconds. Okay, so that's your first progression. Then to make this more advanced, we're gonna add movement. We're gonna perform the cat hang traverse. And how that is we're gonna go into our cat hang position, plant those feet into the wall, and then we're going to bend the arms just a little bit, have those shoulders and elbows engaged, and then we're gonna traverse by stepping with the opposites, going back and forth. An incredible exercise here for developing that grip strength, developing that core strength, and that functional, efficient muscle. Exercise number 2 is the wall dip. And this is one of my favorites, especially for developing the triceps, developing that functional strength, especially if you're in the position where you want to do a top out or a muscle up. It's a great way to lead up into that. So what you're gonna do is find a wall. What's great about using a wall is we can use this to assist ourselves, and I'll show you here in a second. So the first progression is just being able to hold up into a locked arm position here. So if you're a beginner, you just wanna be able to hold, engaging those shoulders, so you don't want to sag down here, you want to press them down, so that way you are nice and tall here and you're holding in this position. So that's the first progression for a beginner. Second is now we're going to perform the dip motion. So what we're going to do is, and this is crucial, we want to lean our chest forward, and you can have your toes on the ground, on the wall here to help assist. We're going to lean our chest forward and go down. So you're going to see there's a nice 90-degree bend with my elbow here. So that way we're keeping nice elbows nice and safe here, and they're close to the body. And then we're gonna lift up, pressing through, back to that elevated position, and back down again. And then as you improve, you're gonna use less and less of those toes and less of those feet. Okay, the third progression is, from this position, we're gonna add that traverse into there. So we're gonna add some movement, stepping, dip, stepping, dip. Exercise number 3 is going to be developing your chest and your shoulders with this one. It's a really fun one too. It's the diving push-up. So what we're going to do is, keeping a nice straight back, we're going to reach our hips or bring our hips back, keeping the arms straight, and we're going to press forward and go into basically a planche push-up. So the shoulders are leaning forward, and we're doing a push-up here, back up, and then continue. So what you're going to do on the way back is you really want to push with those arms and force your body back into that position, to that squat position, okay? So once you can do about 10 of those, it's really gonna emphasize on the shoulders while you're going there. We can ramp this up and really focus on our balance and building functional strength by going into a crow pose. So you're gonna go into that squat position, and we're going to press forward lift our feet off the ground and go into a crow pose position, okay? And then back. Again, pushing with the arms and continue, all right? And you want to focus on being very controlled here, very smooth. Once we go from here, we can ramp this up even more by using the wall again, going back to the wall, going into that crow pose. So what we're gonna do is get into a position where you can find a nice push-up position against the wall. You know, your feet can grip. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to press, and the closer you are to the wall, the easier. So you can start off here and just go stepping into that crow pose and back. Really get those shoulders and the chest. But then as you progress, go a little bit further. So step. All right, and then what I like to do to really get the shoulders to work out, take it to the next level, is go into basically a tucked planche position. And this is more advanced. Press the feet against the wall, get a nice distance. We're going to press, tuck planche, and back. All right, moving on to exercise 4. This one's all about balance and stability, especially you're gonna get some core strength here. You're gonna get some stability with the arms and the shoulders here. And what this is you're familiar with this if you've been on our channel for a while. This is the QM crawl, but we're gonna be adding and making it a little bit more difficult by elevating ourselves. But first, let's start off the beginner progression. Break it down for you. If you are new to this move, you want your back straight, wrists stacked below the shoulders, a nice spin in the legs, and stepping with the opposites. So reciprocating motion, stepping back and forth, okay? So once we master that, we're gonna elevate ourselves and go to more of a narrow object. This is what's gonna allow us or force us to really balance and stabilize a lot more, really work on our core strength and our shoulders and arms here. So what we're gonna find is a nice ledge like this, nice and thin. We're gonna hop on, and now it's all about keeping the stability and that balance and that coordination as we crawl forward and we crawl backwards here. Great exercise and fun and challenging at the same time. All right, so once you master on the ledge, then if you want to take it to a ninja level, we're going to elevate onto a rail, and that's really where you're going to find the most stability and the most balanced practice is elevated on that rail. All right, for this 5th and final exercise, we're doing the wall muscle up or the wall top out. Now, what's cool about this one is we are combining a couple of exercises we've already mastered. So once you master your wall dip and your wall cat hang, this is where we're gonna be using the wall for our wall muscle up. So what we're gonna do is get into our cat hang position, use that technique, and we can find a wall that's, you know, good height for us. This one's a little low, but I can still get it on here. So what you're gonna do is hang in that cat hang position. You're going to engage those shoulders, engage those arms, pull up really quick, and then go into your wall dip. So it's gonna look like this, up and back. And if you want to really get that strength, perform the negative technique and go back down. And just to share with you a little trick to make this easier, when you're hanging on the cat hang position, you wanna lift and get those palms flat on the wall or over that ledge as quick as you can and get your chest up and over the wall into that dip position. So I'll show you again. Up. There we go.
All right, so those were the 5 exercises. Now, make sure when you go and do those, have fun. These are meant to be challenging and fun, and they're gonna really help you out with your upper body strength. Now, I have to give a shout out because we learned these exercises from some of the first generation of parkour athletes. So these guys were from France, and we were fortunate enough to train with them and go into a workshop and be taught by them personally. And so we have to give a big shout out to Jan Hinatra, Laurent Piemontesi, and Chao Bell. These 3 guys showed us so much with our time training with them, and we thank them so much. They really changed our lives at that point, teaching us these bodyweight exercises. So big shout out to them, and I'll put a link in the description where you can check out more about them and stuff. But if you want to take parkour to the next level, I mean, you watch this and it sparks your interest and you want to start learning some of the beginner moves like the parkour roll or your first vault, then what I want you to do is click the link we have in the description where you can pick up our 5-day parkour starter course, and you get this absolutely free. So go to the link down in the description, pick up your free parkour starter course. And now for the hardcore subscribers, we want to give you something a little extra. We were actually in Chiang Mai recently, and we were doing a little bit of training, some free running, and a little more extreme, some acro and stuff like that. We want to share those clips with you. Now, while you're watching those clips, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to do that, and we'll see you in the next video.